Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is a pretty important video right here. This lady is Zohran Mamdani, the communist mayor of New York that just got elected, that Muslim guy. It's his intern. Her name is Hadiqua Arzu Malik. And she is talking here about him being elected and about it being jihad and a holy war against the West. Okay, she's going to use a couple terms in this. Here's a quote from her. This is all jihad. This is all ibadah. This is all counted by Allah. How committed am I to this? What am I willing to sacrifice for this noble cause? Now, she goes on to say a lot more outlandish stuff in here, and we're going to listen to it in a second. But I want to explain, everybody knows what jihad is. That's a holy war of Islam against Christians and non-believers and pretty much anybody that isn't Islam. Ibadah is probably a term you don't know. Ibadah, what that means is it gives Muslims the permission to lie and deceive anybody that isn't Muslim if it's going to further the spread of Islam or further the spread of their jihad. That's what ibadah means, okay? So now you know. Now we're going to check this video out. This comes from Stu Smith, by the way, originally. I think that's his thing right up here. So go check out his channel as well. But we're going to listen to this now.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. Just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you?
I'm gonna stop here for a second. How gangster are you? She says. They don't want to get suspended. They don't want to get arrested. Okay, so answer this. What are you going to be doing that would get you arrested? That requires you to be gangsta? And you're talking about jihad, which is holy war. You're talking about ibadah, which is lying to everybody to deceive them to further your jihad. And now you're talking about getting arrested for things that you're going to do, that it's time to rise up against us. What exactly do you think they're planning here? I mean, this, to me, is pretty self-explanatory. Let's continue.
That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And subhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
So if you get arrested, if you lose all your money, doing something for Allah, okay, so make no mistake, she's talking about jihad here. She's talking about striking against Americans for Allah. Now, if you look at any place in the world that these people go, it's always the same. They take over entire sections of cities where the police can't even go there. They assault women in the streets. They do horrible things to them. Words that I can't even say on YouTube. The R word, the SA, right? They do all this stuff constantly. Look at places like Germany. There's whole sections of Berlin you can't even go. The cops won't even go there because these people now run it. You know, they do this and then they push for Sharia law. That's what this lady's talking about. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to get arrested and lose everything for Allah? Now, if this guy was just a nice little, harmless Democrat socialist that just wants to make New York City better, why would that get you arrested? Why would you have to have a holy war against the West just to make a city better, to make things more affordable for the citizens. Once again, Democrats, you've been lied to. You've been suckered, and you've elected somebody who's pretty much a damn terrorist the way they sound. I mean, that's a strong statement to make, but, I mean, this is his intern. And this lady is sitting there saying that it's jihad, that electing him was jihad, and that it's a bada, that they're lying to you, and that they're going to be trying to push Islam on you. That's what's coming. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. As always, it's up to you to make up your own mind, but proof's in the pudding, man. I mean, you heard her. You heard her yourself. Till we speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.